Q, Cora,
Hey, what's going on?
what's going on, guys? What's going on? Logan, what's happening, man? I've been grinding today. Trent's been sending me updates left and right.
We don't ever stop.
Hey, all right, Bruce. I have 2:30. I'm still waiting on a couple of people, but I'll keep an eye on them if you want to go ahead and
Yes,
dive
please
started
do.
on this. And yeah,
All right, everybody, good afternoon and welcome to today's training. The last few weeks have been amazing. We've really been honing in on the model of role playing heavy, right? A lot of the times, when we've done these trainings in the past, it's been a great training when it comes to content. But after multiple discussions, Brian and I have determined that, getting more of our training to be interactive and engaging from the field force, such as yourselves, has been getting a lot of great feedback from the team. And so really today's focus is moving on to the next section of the presentation, and that's really going into the unique life benefits and then also diving into the Accident Protector Max. And again, we're going to be doing some demonstrating along this fact, and then we're going to be landing the plane next week, diving into the how it works slide, and then going through the paperwork process and giving you the tools that you need in order for you to make that presentation sharper than you've ever had it. And again, so really going in to demonstrate, Brian's going to be my decision maker. And we're going to go ahead and give you guys a quick demonstration of what the transitions and tie downs need to look like. We've got Jonathan Sorrell joining us here. All right. So we ended last. I cannot. We'll get the. Okay. So with that being said, let's dive right in. So we're going to get started and pick back up on the unique life benefits. So there's a unique life benefit when he talks about the group term 65, as we did last week. Let me go ahead and put the, so we ended last week's with the group term 65. All right, this is coverage until the age of 100 with the paid up option at 65. And then we then, of course, tied it down there at the very end after going over the example of what it would look like for one of their employees. And so we did a good job there. Moving on into the next segment here, talking about what other benefits are there, along with, of course, we talked about, the group term 65, and we talked about the features of it, okay? Everything that we cover on the group term 65, we talked a lot about features, but I want to give you guys a reminder about talking about a feature versus a benefit, right? Group term paid up at 65, that's a feature. It gets paid up at 65, covers you till 100. But putting it in perspective of what the actual benefit of that is for the working class American is going to be huge, right? The benefit is that it pays itself off at 65, meaning that you're not going to have to worry about premiums continuously being paid, and you're going to have it ready for you to have it in your back pocket for you to use, and it's going to give you that peace of mind, right? On top of that, the face amount never decreases. So what does that mean? The same amount of value that you paid for when you first elected for this coverage is going to be the same value you're getting throughout the entirety of the policy, right? So remember, a feature is what's on the slide. A benefit is putting it in perspective or painting the picture of what this is actually going to do. So moving on to this particular slide, this is where we start talking heavily about the benefits. All right, the benefits, not so much, not very many features off this slide, but it really helps you have an opportunity for you to build on the benefits about having a competitive benefit package in your arsenal as a business owner. So, Brian, we also recognize the need for your employees to have that protection for their families for that loss of income, primarily whenever a family member does pass away. So what we're going to do is we're going to provide options for each of your employees to help replace that income in order for them to continue living in the same manner. And when I think about the same manner, I think about all the soccer games. I think about all the lifestyle, the Disney trips, the daycare that your family is accustomed to, maybe even the kind of meals that they're eating on a regular basis. And so those are the kinds of other ways that we can help benefit your employees. And in addition to not just income replacement, we also have replacing the employee's opportunity to provide mortgage protection to help them pay for their home in case of their passing. Think about that, right? I remember you did mention you currently offer no life insurance, and the probability of your employees having one of these needs is incredibly high. So, imagine having an employee be able to know that they have an employer that's providing benefits to help them cover these types of assets in their family. I'm sure you would agree that that's a great benefit, wouldn't you?
yeah, 100%.
Now, the good thing about our other unique life benefits, Brian, is that the beneficiary can choose for their family to receive a benefit of up to $200,000 in either a lump sum or a monthly amount, which of course helps with budgeting. Now, with all that considered, Brian, I'm sure you would agree that an employee, knowing that they could provide an ongoing income and secure the home for their family in the event of their passing, would be regarded as a great benefit, right?
Yes.
Now, in addition to our unique life benefits, Brian, we really see the need for protecting the family's supplemental income during a major healthcare crisis, because something that really drove my attention and opened my eyes was that the number one cause of personal bankruptcy filing in the United States is medical debt. Now, Brian, would you happen to know anybody that has been struck by a critical illness such as this?
Yeah, my grandfather had leukemia, actually.
Brian, that's an answer we get quite a bit, right? We have people that are not affected by it directly, but indirectly throughout their family as well. So, since whatever people are useful by cancer, it's obvious that many of your employees are going to have to deal with this during their working years. Wouldn't you agree?
Yes.
Now, think about this, right? With more people living through an illness like cancer, we want to make sure that they have the ability to keep the car running, keep the lights on, or even just keep food on the table. One of the things we find more than that's likely is a family that's going through cancer. A lot of them have to continue to do what? While they're going through cancer treatment, Brian, what is it that they're having to do as well?
They're trying to figure out how to work around that.
Exactly, right? So with policies like us, we can offer a no lifetime maximum that pays the employee the moment they're diagnosed with cancer. That's going to help out with their insurance deductibles, which I know you did mention your current deductible is $5,000. And most families don't have that kind of money sitting around to be able to pay for that kind of stuff. And not only is it going to help with the deductibles, but it's also going to help for that lost effort. So these also include a benefit that gives them benefits within that hospital confinement, every session of chemotherapy, radiation treatments, and each day they spend in the hospital as well, they're going to get that reimbursement straight to the employee, and also for transportation to cancer treatment centers of their choosing. Now, I'm sure you would agree that relieving this kind of financial pressure would be also a great benefit, right?
It would, Bruce, and I'm reading right there. That's with no lifetime limit.
Absolutely. And that's the other thing too, that I'm glad you brought that up, right? So what that means, Brian, is if cancer were to strike and go into remission, and they do happen to get cancer once again, that policy is still going to continue to pay out. The premiums are going to stay the same, and they're going to have that same peace of mind, knowing that they have that security blanket in case of an unexpected illness such as cancer. Pretty cool,
Wow.
huh?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm glad you brought that up. Now, here's the other thing we offer here is our critical illness policy. Okay. Now, I did also want to bring your attention back into the benefits fact sheet that we filled out. You currently have a fairly high deductible, which again, it's still great that you offer your employees health insurance. It shows that you care a lot about them. A lot of my clients currently offer supplements through us so that way we have your employees be taken care of in case of an unexpected illness like these. Now, something else I want to bring your attention to is, heart disease is currently the number one killer worldwide, and stroke ranks second. Even when those conditions don't result in death, they do cause disability and diminish the quality of life. Now, according to the American Heart and Stroke Association, every 40 seconds, an American will suffer from a heart attack, and every 40 seconds, an American will suffer from a stroke, right? Now,
Wow.
I'm sure like most, you would regard stroke, heart attack, kidney failure, and a major organ health, a healthcare crisis, right?
Yes.
Now, Brian, in order to help families survive financially during a difficult time like this, we can help provide financial protection for these types of illnesses, as well as cancer, by offering them a lump sum benefit for them to get the moment they're diagnosed. And it pays them cash directly in hand, all the way from $10,000 to $55,000 directly to the employee during that time of need. Now, Brian, with all that considered, I'm sure you would agree that relieving the financial pressures of one of your employees suffering one of these critical illnesses would be regarded as a great benefit, right?
100%.
Now, this brings us into our Accident Protector Max. With deductibles and copays currently, I'm sure even looking at yours right now, they're higher now than they've ever been before. And so with very few people having this kind of money set aside in their budget for unexpected illnesses or trips to the emergency room, our Accident Protector Max is going to help them provide coverage for their entire family. This is going to give them coverage 24 hours a day on and off the job, and it's going to pay them cash directly in case of an unexpected accident or emergency when they're going into, as long as they reach treatment, get treatment within 48 hours, they're going to get this benefit paid out to them. So now, as you can see here, this is a quick snapshot of the benefits available with this policy. So in the event of an accident, an employee may use our quick claims process as well to be able to have their payment directly deposited to the employee's account. Now, with all that considered, Brian, I do want to go ahead and really talk about how it works. All right. So the way I see this working now, guys, that's exactly how we go through those particular slides there. So what I want you to do is we're going to then move into the role play session. Now, because next week, here's what I want us to get ready for is we're going to talk about how it works. That's why I didn't include it in this slide, because I want you guys to see the flow of the entire process from that slide all the way to through the closing paperwork. How to get the employee list first, right? A lot of the times when people are going through the closing paperwork, they forget that in the script, it actually has you get the employee list first before going through and completing all the rest of the paperwork. So I'm really excited to getting to show you guys that next week. It'll also be recorded. So for this next segment, we're going to go ahead and pair up. Okay, so get into pairs of 2s or 3s, whatever number fits best. And what I want you to focus on is I want you to focus on intentional role play. What do I mean by that? Talk about your delivery. Okay, what does your tonality sound like? Are we adding some pauses in between? What about our body language? For those of you that are fairly new, please feel free to have your scripts out. What I want you to focus on is generating a level of emotion within yourself. Because a lot of the times when we're role playing and there's no intentionality behind, if there's no feeling, right? You need heart and soul when it comes to educating and transferring emotions. So when you're saying the scripts, I want you to focus on feeling what it is that you're saying. And what you're going to start to do over a period of time with repetition, supplemented by that kind of a mindset and intentionality, you're going to start to remember key points when you're going through your presentation. Because here's the thing. Every time I got Brian to say yes, it made me more convicted. It made me more confident, knowing that he is saying yes and agreeing to the things that I'm asking him about. And so, team, really looking forward to seeing what this role play session is going to do for us. Let's go ahead and pair up in 2s and 3s, and we're going to go ahead and role play for the next 15 minutes, and then we're going to jump on and get some feedback from the group. Let's go ahead and rock it out, guys. Let's get some high energy pumping, and I'll see you guys here shortly.